Yeah, sir. At the moment, we're discussing 1947, 48. Okay, so 1947. So August 14th, August 15th, Pakistan have come into fruition as as two dominion states. Um, the Mr. Jinnah had envisioned that the dominions would be Pakistan and Hindustan, and India would be something that was above both. And he had something similar to the US-Canada model in mind, where both the US and Canada have such friendly relations with each other that he envisioned Hindustan and Pakistan to have open borders and cross-pollination. But because one is a Hindu majority state and the other is a Muslim majority state, both dominions would be on their best behavior with regards to treating their minorities properly,
Mhm.
right? So
Yes.
where did that how did that kind of go awry? What I mean is, how is it that the name India was, for lack of a better word, usurped by the Union of India, and they didn't adopt Hindustan as the name,
I think where
whereas
it was
Pakistan, called itself Pakistan.
Nehru pretty much said that since Pakistan is a seceding state, we should keep the name India.
Hmm.
Now, India, as you know, comes from the Indus, which flows through Pakistan. So Jinnah was very clear. He said, there can't be an India without Pakistan.
Hmm.
Jinnah actually wanted, if you look at the cabinet mission plan, one of the sort of the ideas that he had in mind was a confederation between Pakistan and Hindustan, a confederation of India. That obviously didn't come into fruition. But yes, ultimately he saw Pakistan and India being like US, Canada, and also keeping it their minorities, in sort of. So I don't want to use the word hostage, but in terms of that's a very indelicate way of putting the whole issue. But they believe that since both states would have minorities, they would treat each other's minorities well, and that would ultimately bring together both parties on the same table, and they would work together as two nations living in the subcontinent, and working towards a common goal, with probably a joint defense pact and that sort of thing. But this didn't happen primarily, and I blame Pakistan for it because, even though we entered into the Liaquat Nehru Pact in 1951, which pretty much established that, 1950. Sorry, Liaquat Nehru Pact was in 1950. It
Hmm.
pretty much established the principle that minorities would be treated equally, and that equally on both sides. And that was pretty much a pact that went back to the Lahore Resolution, which spoke about the same sort of understanding between Pakistan and India, or whatever the successive states were. So I think what Pakistan did increasingly after 1956, when it became an Islamic republic, but 1956 was still a better situation. Slowly and steadily, minorities have been marginalized in Pakistan, and I think that's given, sort of the other side, as it were, Indians, an out, as it were, from their own, because Indian constitution is secular and it does promise equal rights to minorities. But we see what's going on in India right now. So
That's
yeah,
right.
I think the partition plan could have worked. The whole Pakistan India thing could have worked for the better had there been some sort of a link between Pakistan and India, and that would be sort of a treaty arrangement or a constitutional arrangement. Unfortunately, that didn't come into